a few years back, because you were sort of one of the last players that got to play in the like NYC NRL 20's. Do you reckon it's a much better system now for the young fellas coming through, where there's not as much pressure on them playing under that, that
Yeah,
club brand?
100%. Like, don't get me wrong, I would have loved for it to finish on my year I was top age, just because you got treated like kings.
Yeah.
I can see from the point of view of the amount of money the NRL spent on a business point of view, the amount of money the NRL spent on the under 20s program, NYC and that, for no financial gain is where they like, and then they wanted to push the women's rugby. The financial capital and that come from the 20s went into NRLW and all that kind of stuff. And like the All-Stars games and all that kind of stuff is where a lot of that capital went to, and like the touch. But I think the initiative to put it back to Queensland Cup and New South Wales Cup 2018, like Cyril Connell, Mal Meninga and Hastings Deering Cup, as they call it in Queensland, is great because it kind of keeps everyone grounded. So like, don't get me wrong, like it was good to play, like have a Cows jersey on and that kind of stuff. But like a lot of guys thought they were like, yeah, I'm sweet, I'm set, like I'm going to play NRL. And like the amount of people that play, if you look at a full squad of 30 or 35 in that team, the amount of people that might play NRL is like one or something. And the amount of games that one person might play is only like 10 or something. Like the odds are really stacked against you. So like it kind of keeps them at home, keeps them around their friendship groups and keeps them relatively grounded. So like when you do, or when or if you do get to kind of take that leap into the next level, you're a little bit more grateful for the period you've tracked up to get to there.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that's one of the big concerns is, just the welfare. Like you said, you put on a Cowboys, put on a Broncos jersey, and I guess you sort of have it in the back of your head, like, fuck, I'm one step away. And then what happens after you turn 20 and they take, that 1 or 2% out of the squad? It'd be fucking heartbreaking, like being a part of something like that and then be told, you're not wanted anymore. I guess a lot of players, if they might not have like, or have the mindset to be prepared for that decision. But I like the system that, now in place. And I guess it takes the pressure off a lot of young players coming through a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think like a lot of it was too, like people were thinking that it went Queensland Cup under 20s in NRL, and like that's really never how it ever was planned or ever was how it was to get into the NRL. It was like you go in and you'll play under 20s and they'll be like, oh, this guy is absolutely killing it. Let's sign him NRL. And then the back end of your 20s, they might chuck him in some Q Cup games or New South Wales Cup games to see how he goes against men. Because like, bro, those games weren't normal rugby league games when we were playing 20s. Like at one stage we drew like something like 42 all with the team. Like it scores like, with teams like that were chucking up scores like cricket scores, man. Like you look at some scores, like I remember we played to the point where I kind of felt sorry for him. It was like, I think it was like 72-6 or something. We beat them. Like they just had ridiculous amounts of injuries. A couple of their good players, like their real quality players, got taken into the New South Wales Cup team that was like the Warriors New South Wales Cup team. And like they had 18-year-olds on debut. Like it was just, they had nothing. And we just slaughtered to these poor buggers. And like they would have been scarred. And it was just like, fuck, surely, like they look at scores like that and we're wearing a Cowboys jersey and they're wearing a Warriors jersey and think that's not good for the club, if you know what I mean. Like it wasn't good for the program, like chucking up cricket scores like that. It just didn't season any players. Like it was an all attacking game. Like there was no collision at all. And then you go play men and then there's guys out there just want to belt you because you're young.
Yeah. No, it's tough. You definitely get a bit more of a taste of what the NRL is going to be like, I suppose, if you're playing Cup. Hey, it's much more
100
of a
100%.
preparer. Mm. Yeah, fucking
I
oath.
think it would be a good. I think what they've done with the system's a lot better.
Yeah. And I guess, like, the pros of the 20 system was, it gives players with great potential, the insight of what it's like to be an NRL player with the travel and the resources, I suppose. But then, yeah, like you said, we've all gone through all the cons there and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Oh, the pros, man, the pros. The pros have always been the bit like,
Especially when
man,
you're a single man,
fuck,
eh,
we got
Gloss?
it. Oh, we got it so good. Like, oh, the pros, like, how long you got, man? The pros were ridiculous. Like, oh, the amount of stuff that we used to get for free and like the
Kit.
places we'd stay, the kit, bro. Some of the kit
Kita.
like you'd get, the kit, you the kit you'd get, you'd be like, surely I can't wear this amount of kit in 1 year. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I used to give because I used to give some like some of it away. Like I just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you just never used it. Like we used to get like 2 or 3 jumpers, trackies, and like you live in Townsville, man. You don't need a jumper.
Yeah.
Right. The only time you needed a jumper was when you went to Sydney, and I used to just wear the wind jacket. So like
Yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
sweet, and you'd take your own hoodie because
Yeah.
there's nothing more shame than wearing like going out and free dress like on a Saturday before the game or the Friday night when we fly down and you'd be wearing your cows kit. Like the boys would be like, "Oh, that you shame. What are you wearing that for?" Like, "Oh, you're claiming. Do you play for?"
Oh, bro.